Hello everybody, I am doing belted up basses today, and I am going to do a piece that I grew up with. I had this, played this piece in my youth orchestra back in Savannah, Georgia. And this piece, the Romanian Folk Dances by Bartok, which is what I'm going to do for my belted out basses, is actually generally for a chamber orchestra or could even be done with full strings only. And because we were a smaller orchestra, to do it with the chamber orchestra and do the chamber orchestra version made a lot of sense. We just did this piece with the Philadelphia Orchestra for a kids concert that will be airing at some point during this fall season. But the reason I am bringing it up now is that I'm doing for belted out basses, but it's because this fourth movement, there's 7 movements in all. The fourth movement is so lush and so beautiful and so wonderful to play. And I just thought, I think, yeah, this is just kind of screaming to be a belted out basses melody. So I had to allow myself to do it. Bartok is a fantastic composer, and I love how he was able to put folk elements into his music that made it even that much more, in many ways, approachable for the general public. So it's to have composers do this and to be able to take some of these melodies and these folk melodies and have them be part of the concert hall experience, to me has always been actually quite inspirational. As a matter of fact, I feel like in the way that Bartok did that with these Romanian folk dances, there are composers doing this all the time. And I, as a classical musician, I get really excited when, for example, we just played the Gabriella Frank, I believe it's called Leyendas, an Andean walkabout, and have those folk songs as part of the piece that it was for strings only, that we played with the Philadelphia Orchestra. It's neat to see these different cultures memorialized actually through this medium of writing music down and so that others can play it in the future. I just love it. Let's talk a little bit about this fourth movement that I won't even come close to trying to pronounce. So this I love that. I love those, how exotic this it almost has this Middle Eastern feel, the scale. Can you repeat that? Yeah, good. Let's just talk about that much. So the hardest part about this as a belted out basses is I can make just as a fingering choice, I could, but to do that seemed like more work than necessary, and it's a little bit of a tongue twister, but I'm doing this 1, 2, 4, 2, and then almost doing a weird, not a bar, but it's almost, yeah, it's, I forgot what we call these things. I'm supposed to be a teacher, and I can't, what do you do when it's not a bar? What do we call these? Someone help me out. I can't remember when you have the fingers right next to you. But I think that fingering works better for this section. And then that particularly, and that's actually such a strange kind of combination of notes melodically, that it's not a surprise that it warrants kind of a strange fingering. And then we have this. That's a really nice moment. For that high G, the second one I just played is very, very. Oh, and Bartok does write a diminuendo. Actually, there's not a lot of instruction in the music. As a matter of fact, it's mezzo forte dolce at the very beginning, and that's the only thing that's written in the part until that little diminuendo, and then it does a further diminuendo down the piano towards the end of the piece. So we have this. Let's do that in the piano. To piano. So I think it's actually pretty straightforward. It's quite expressive. I want to make, I guess, the most out of these triplets, and then the 16th. Because what we don't want it to sound like is like all triplets. That is something where we want to try to avoid. So when deciding vibrato about something like this, I think I'm looking for something a little bit more, a quickened vibrato versus something that's too round and big. I think either could work, of course, but like I said in the maybe from Annie, I mean, these are decisions that we make based on the knowledge of the music that we have in front of us. So I could just that larger, that's something bigger. And I think that works. Something a little bit more nervous. I can't put it in words, y'all. That's why I play bass. But something a little more nervous, something that's a little bit more like, that has a little bit more, I guess, awe in the sound versus something that's a little bit more confident. So I almost think of like either you're a violinist, maybe not trained, but just playing with this kind of quickened sound by themselves in the mountains of Romania somewhere. But and you see, you'll notice that there's a little bit, instead of having this, keep this on, instead of having this, keeping the right hand very sustained, I'm actually, I call this spelling for anyone who studies with me. So I actually have a little bit more gaps. So there's a little bit more finesse in the sound instead of having this Wagnerian straight through sound. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So that's probably going to be the take that the approach that I use in putting this together. So I just listen to myself play the Bartok, and for the most part, it's working. There are some, I think if I could just commit to the style that I want to go for, particularly in the, I can go there. I feel like I'm a little safe. And just I feel like I was a little academic there. And there's one part I have to do some serious bow conservation. So yeah, here. So I'm gonna plan head so I can have enough bow for that. Other than that, I think I'm ready to do some takes. Let's see what it sounds like.